line, you would get 3 days off the line, and when we were off the line, we would eat in these mess halls.
How much time did you serve in Korea?
I was in Korea 1 year, for a year's time, right?
This is your wedding picture.
Right, this is a wedding picture taken on the day of my wedding, and you see there my wife, Helen Bookman, who's now Helen Stein, and myself blissfully happy in her beautiful wedding gown.
What date was this?
This was December the 3rd, 1955.
And you had 2 children with Helen?
Right, we have 2 children. One of them is Mark, my oldest son, and the younger one is Alyssa. And Mark was born March 24th of 1959, and Alyssa was born on November the 10th of 1962.
And I understand that we're going to meet them now.
Yes, I'm looking forward to you
So
meeting my wonderful family and their spouses.
So am I.
Okay, Mr. Stein, please introduce us to your lovely family.
I'd be delighted to introduce you to my family. On my extreme right is my son, Mark, and his lovely wife, Laura. Next to me is my gorgeous wife, Helen, and my beautiful daughter, Alyssa, and her daughter, Rebecca, and my handsome son-in-law, Steve.
And the grandchildren?
And down below is the little fella. His name is Jeremy. And my granddaughter, my oldest granddaughter, her name is Sarah. And Mike, who doesn't want to cooperate at the moment.
No.
Oh, Michael.
Mrs. Stein, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to say that I've been urging Dave to tell his story for many years. And I feel that, I hope it will be a catharsis for him. I know that this is the right thing, and I feel a great sense of, I'm very pleased and relieved that this has been accomplished.
No.
Mark, did you want to say something about growing up as David Stein's son?
Yes, I did. I guess the most striking thing about it was that I never felt like the son of a survivor. There was always so much joy and happiness and laughter in our house, and that was clearly due to my father's attempts to keep us shielded from his past. The first time I ever heard the complete story of my father's days in the camp was today at the taping, and my mother always would tell us that that's because it was too hard for my father to tell those stories, but I know that it was because my father didn't want to burden us with it, and that's the real answer to that. We didn't have a lot of God in our house, but we had a great deal of spirited Judaism and traditional Judaism, and my father made sure that that was a big part of our lives. He taught us the importance of Israel to the Jews, and he told us about the pride that he had in being an American as well, and both of those things were very important in our household. My father is and has always been a very proud man, kind of tough exterior, soft on the inside, and I think I only remember hearing him cry twice. The first time was when we went to Israel after my bar mitzvah, and we went up the road to Jerusalem. And as the wall came into sight, I was sitting in the bus seat in front of my father, and he started to cry. And that's the first time when I was 13 that I'd ever seen him cry. And that told me something about the importance of Israel and Judaism to him. The second time was when Laura and I told him about the fact that Laura was pregnant. And he started to cry then too. And the second time I saw my father cry, at least as far as I can remember, is when my wife Laura and I came here to the house to tell them that Laura was pregnant with his first grandchild. And he cried then, and I remember very vividly when he came to the hospital when Sarah was born, and he picked up Sarah in his arms and looked at her, and it struck me very vividly then that what he was seeing was yet another generation that has arrived as a result of his survival from the Holocaust, and I could see all that in his eyes. I love my father as much as I think any son could love a father. I have immense respect and pride for what he's overcome and what he's accomplished in his life. And he remains my anchor and my rock of Gibraltar.
Thank you.
I guess the thing that came to my mind when I started thinking about how I would answer this question is that it's really impossible, and it was impossible growing up, to see my father as a victim. He is an incredibly strong person. He has a beautiful outlook on life, and he really conveyed a very positive message to me growing up. His stories about the Holocaust, I did ask him on several occasions, and he spoke to me about it, gave me a strong sense of the importance of my place in the world, the importance of carrying on the Jewish people. And it did leave me feeling a sense of responsibility, but not at all in a negative, burdened way. It was a really, as my brother said, a very joyous household. And my father is an incredibly beautiful person. He's a really, really pure soul, totally unaffected by his experiences. Really generous person, trusting, loving, and giving. And that's really what I grew up and what I've gained from my father. And I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, for me, Dad is an important symbol. He's a constant reminder both of the terrible things and the evil that people can do that we see in less extreme forms every day. And he's also a constant reminder of the incredible human spirit, the ability to overcome adversity and have a life filled with love and filled with sort of genuine happiness every day and caring for other people. And the combination of those two make him an incredibly important symbol.
I think that the most amazing thing about my father-in-law is how you wouldn't know that he was a survivor unless somebody told you. He's so full of happiness, and he is an optimist. I always see the glass as half empty, and he always sees it as half full, and he always gives you hope for whatever's going on in your life. There are times, however, when you will discuss things with him, and you realize that he does have this whole darker side of life that he witnessed, because sometimes when he talks about human nature, he talks with the knowledge that somebody who's seen the darker side has. And I think it's at those times that I realize how much he's overcome to be able to be so positive in sort of the afterlife, after his experience.
Mr. Stein, is there anything that you'd like to add?
Yes, I'd like to say that something that came to mind while my children were addressing the camera, that it really is an incredible thing that the Shoah Foundation is doing, because it, in my personal circumstance, it has opened up a dialogue between me and my children, which I think is really is going to bring this family closer together. And I don't think without this particular endeavor, this could have happened. That's it.